Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. That music, the music at the beginning of every episode, sets me on fire. It's so good to be here. It's a vibe. It's great. This is a track from Pokemon Sun and Moon. This was the last Pokemon game I ever bought for my DS.
Never played Sun and Moon.
Michael, you've never played Pokemon.
Well, that's not true. But Sun and Moon I have not played.
They're okay. But that was so for everyone listening, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the new Pokemon games are free open world, super crazy weird. The old games, it's like you're moving your character like a chess piece around the map. Do you know what I'm talking about? And those are the best Pokemon games. Welcome back to 2G1C. This is episode 21, 22. Can you believe that? It's incredible.
I think.
And listen, before we get into everything, something that's been on my radar, everyone and their mom has been starting a podcast lately. And you know what? I love it. The more the merrier. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I was when I first started this, I was everyone does a podcast and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But now I'm the podcaster, and now it's wow, I'm a veteran. I'm a professional podcaster. We are professional podcasters.
Podcasters should support other podcasters.
That's right. It's a dying industry, as you all know.
Yeah.
But today, a couple things I wanted to talk about. I finished reading my Big Sean book, Go Higher, which was absolutely phenomenal. I learned how to solve a Rubik's Cube. So at the end of the episode, I am going to solve a Rubik's Cube. But things have been really good lately. It was a rainy day in Florida today.
Yep.
So I sat down in the caddy yard and worked on my Rubik's Cube, and then Mike got out to work.
I did, actually. Little break in between the storm.
That's right.
So
you hustled around. But, the one thing I wanted to talk about today, something that I've been doing recently, is, I'm trying to have a lot more balance in my life, right? And so one of the things you've heard everyone talk about it, the rappers talk about it, everyone talks about it, is meditation. And so one of the things I've been working on is when it comes to before work and stuff, I've been trying to wake up early, take my time, not rush. You know what I'm saying? So usually, this is my rule for me, and this is what works for me, is we have call times at work. If I have 9 o'clock or later that I have to be at work, I'll wake up early, I'll read my book, I'll pray, and I'll meditate. And it's awesome. It's such a great way to start the day. Okay? One of the quotes that I love that I heard from one of my buddies said, one of the biggest things about Jesus is he was always busy, but he was never rushed. And so one thing I've been trying to do is wake up a lot earlier and give myself more time to get ready instead of rushing out the door. You know what I'm saying? Because then you start your day off rushed, you're nervous, you know what I'm saying? And it's a bad way to start the day.
Yeah.
And so, apart from, meditating in the morning and all that stuff, one of the things I wanted to talk about as well is just how to find balance in your own life. Because I feel like that's something me and Mike have gotten really good on lately. Do we have it lucky? Yes, of course. Being caddies, you only work for about 4 to 5 hours, and then you have the rest of your day, which is great. Okay, but I'm gonna tell you guys about some things that we've seen that I've been doing that have just brought me a lot of clarity. So along with okay, I'll start with this. So along with meditating in the morning and reading and all that stuff and being able to take your time. The other thing is being very intentional. One of the things that I've tried to work on lately is no matter what I'm doing, I want to make sure I'm being intentional. Now, everyone and their mom says that, okay? And I know that I didn't know what that meant. And so to me, being intentional is when you have a time slot, for example, right? This morning, I woke up before, work. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that are like, well, I'm bored, and I'm just going to get on my phone and try and fill this time until work, okay? But I think when you have that open time and you're intentional, you can do things during that time to fill that space, right? So you're not being bored and wasting energy, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
know what you're saying. Exactly. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And so, along with being intentional, the one thing I think me and Mike can kind of speak on the most is when it comes to working with other caddies and stuff. Okay. I've said this on the podcast before, but when it comes to working with caddies and caddying, you see both sides of the spectrum. Mike can speak on this too, but you spend your time, and especially down here with the caddy shack, it's almost like you're living with these people. And so you get to see one side of the coin of, some caddies that are always going out, always partying, always doing that stuff, which is fine. Okay, it's not my cup of tea. But then, you caddy for guys that are very successful and they do very well for themselves. They speak well, they act well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now listen, are there bad eggs on both sides? Of course.
Always.
Of course.
There always is.
Are there good eggs on both sides? Of course. Some of the caddies that I've met so far this season are some of the best people I've ever met in my entire life, and I love spending time with some of these people. Caddying for people as well. There are some people that I've caddied for that, that maybe they've made all this money, but they're dorks, and I don't like the way they talk about women, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And so one of the best quotes I ever heard, I want to talk about alcohol for a little bit, is getting drunk and going out the night before. One of the quotes that I've heard, is when you drink before work the next day, it's kind of like you're taking energy from that night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then after you take the energy from that night, it's like you're taking it from that next morning. So people wake up and they're super hungover and they're tired and they're not in a good space.
Yeah, half the time they're like, man, I should have drank so much last night. It's like, it was a Tuesday.
Yeah,
like,
I know. And then they do it the night after and the night after and the night after.
Yeah.
And so one of the things, like metaphors that I kind of wanted to compare, like conserving your energy to, is like a transformer. Now, not like the movie, because we've been watching Transformers.
That's where my mind was going.
Okay,
yeah.
so we've been watching Transformers, and this is kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of related, but not really. But when you're dealing with electrical stuff, a transformer is something that takes energy, stores it, and then reruns it through a cycle to make the output even stronger, okay? That's basically what it is. That was like the worst way to put it. But I find that being intentional with your time and meditating is almost acts like a transformer. It takes that energy and it kind of keeps you calm, keeps you sane. It takes that energy and it kind of stores it for later,
Yeah.
And so that's the opposite of alcohol, where it takes that, peace and happiness from the day after and gives it to you now, because people come hungover and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so, Mike, one of the things I wanted to ask you is, obviously I'm not perfect, but I feel like you're very intentional with your time when it comes to school and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel that you're a great example of someone who has always been kind of responsible. You know what I mean?
I try.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you is, one, do you think that, do you like do that consciously, or is it just something that you've kind of always done? You know what I'm saying? And then I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't always feel responsible. Like, I feel like sometimes I'm also rushed and also like, kind of crunched for time because of, you kind of just wait till last second. But I don't know. I mean, I don't really think about it. I just try to fit it all and organize it all, where like I got to do this, and this. And I have like, well, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to go to work. And then when I get home, I'm going to do homework. And then when I do that, maybe I'll go to the gym, but then I don't.
Yes.
And then, stuff like that. So.
Yes. And so when you do those things, right, does being responsible bring you peace and energy, or does it kind of take that away? You know what I'm saying? Because one of the big things I wanted to kind of get after on this episode is there's a lot of people that don't do things because they're lazy. But if you do those things, you're happier, you're better, you feel better, everything's better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like why isn't it a super common practice to meditate and, read and stuff like that? Not to say that my way is the best way, right? But you haven't tried like meditating or anything like that, right?
Not the same way as you, no.
And so why? And look, I'm not like putting you in the slammer or anything, but
No.
like why is that something that you haven't engaged in? You know what I'm saying?
The-
Or do you think you're fine?
Do I think I'm fine? I mean, I'm like fine in a way of like, yeah, I'm good, but not like in a way of like, oh, I'm like too good for that. And that's not like, I wouldn't call it fine like in that way. I don't know. It's just something I've never really tried. I mean, I have in different ways through some things I did when I was younger.
Like what?
So I used to take, for years from like 13 to 16, I took karate, and there was a lot of meditation in that.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't. I think I told you about that, but I quit 3 months before black belt.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wait, so you were like cracked at karate?
For like, well, I guess, yeah, when I was like 15, I guess, yeah.
Wait, and so what's the belt system? I know there's like white, green, yellow.
It goes white. I think for us it went white, orange, yellow, blue, green, brown, black.
And did you have to like break boards and stuff like that?
So there was certain thickness boards that were like plastic that were like harder the thicker they were. There was like skill levels, but to get your black belt, you had to break like a real wooden board.
Really?
Yeah.
And you quit because you were scared?
I kind of just lost interest, and I quit. Like, it was called jujitsu.
Yeah.
Even sooner than karate,
I see.
which is like more hand to hand like stuff. And when I was younger, I didn't like that much, but now I feel kind of regret it.
Yeah.
Because it sounds fun now.
Yeah, I know.
But like,
it sounds like a lot of fun.
but back then I'm like, oh, I hate this, because I was doing with like adults and
Yeah.
kids that were a little older. So like I would get like pinned down and stuff, and it wasn't fun.
I see. Outside of the fighting aspect of karate, you said that there was a lot of meditation involved.
Yeah.
Would you say, do you do anything in your life right now that like has to do with like conserving your energy? You know what I'm saying? Or do you think you're very just like...
Always on the go?
Yeah, always on the go. And do you wish that you could change that? Let me preface this by saying I'm not even close to perfect at all. You know what I'm saying? This is like my first week of trying and doing this and stuff. The reason I'm doing it is one of the other caddies, shout out Chris Dunn, came up to me and he said, Avery, I start my morning every single day. I wake up, I drink my coffee, I read, and then I meditate. You know what I'm saying? And the way that he does it is me, I like to kind of pray and then sit in that prayer for about 5 to 10 minutes. But he sits there for about 20 minutes and just focuses on his breathing, which is a very long time. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds
and
like a long time.
He says that it brings him more peace during the day. Obviously, that's why you do it. But also, when it comes to little things going wrong throughout the day, it gives you better perspective and it allows you to deal with those things better. Sorry, I totally interrupted you.
No.
Are there
I was
any
brainstorming.
practices that you do now that kind of help you, like, I don't want to keep saying meditate because you can't use the word in the definition, but like anything like meditation to kind of conserve your self?
I don't know. I mean, I guess for a lot of people, one of them would be listening to music.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very common, that most people don't, I mean, maybe they don't think about it, but like it brings them, like, calms them down, or a sense of peace or something like that, just to listen to music.
Yeah.
Outside of that, though, I mean, on the top of my head, like in the moment, I can't think of anything else specifically, but like obviously that's like a more general one that, a lot of people do, and myself included.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just the kind of what came to mind at first, but
yeah, no, but I think that's great. Like when I do it, because I've started reading a bunch and all that stuff, like, reading is a great way to like slow my mind down. And when I first started, probably like a month ago, eh, maybe like two months ago when I started, I was like a bad reader. Like I couldn't focus on anything. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But now that I'm doing a bunch, I've been getting a lot better. And then kind of like I also we were talking about being intentional and stuff, and I think solving the Rubik's cube is a great example of me being intentional. That was one of the goals I set for myself coming down here, is I wanted to learn how to solve the Rubik's cube, and I did.
did.
Now I can't do it fast. It'll take me around 3.5 to 4 minutes, and when I solve it at the end of the episode, my goal is to do it by the time the end of the outro song is done. Does that make sense? So that's pretty fast. But if you were to take away a couple things from this episode, I would say like not like you, Mike, but like, like the person listening and stuff, is I would say like at the end of the day, the goal is to be Christ-like in this life. You know what I'm saying? And what I said before, the biggest thing that, or one of the things that define Jesus is he was always busy, but he was never rushed, And I think that one of the things I'm going to really start trying to do, especially, going forward, is giving myself enough time to like get up, go to work, because it's the worst feeling in the world, right? When you wake up not early enough, like this morning.
Wasn't this morning, didn't I don't know if I hit my snooze button or something, but somehow you just woke up and then you woke me up.
I don't think it went off. So this is also, I wanted to get at this as well. Mike woke up this morning at 6:26. I looked at my phone. What time did you have to be at work?
6:45.
Yeah.
No,
and
luckily we're 3 minutes away.
Yeah. Luckily we live super close, and you made it on time.
Yeah, I was there like 3 minutes early.
Really?
Yeah.
But
I just took my breakfast with me.
Really? But
Yeah.
you weren't able to like take your time, take it easy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
I went through all my morning steps just faster.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like the goal that I've set for myself, and if you're one of the two people still listening, you can do this as well. And I know I'm kind of jumping around, but this is like a last minute episode type thing that I wanted to put together because this is what I've been doing lately. It's just one, I've been waking up early and trying not to rush, right? Take my time, keep my brain calm. So when I go into the rest of my day, I'm better. I'm more fruitful in those interactions, right?
Yeah.
When I wake up early, I read my book, right? Or, I'll write because I want to make the album down here. So I've been writing. Okay. And then I also sit in prayer and I meditate for about 5 minutes, right? And it's nice. It's just me and the Lord, and I sit there and I talk to him. It's great. And it keeps me calm for the rest of the day. When it comes to going through my day-to-day, doing my best to be very intentional, right? If I have a chunk of time that I don't know what I should do with it, I'm not going to sit there and get bored. Do I still doom scroll on my phone? Yes. But if I'm not doing something productive, like at work or doing laundry or whatever, something like that, I try and fill that space with something that's fruitful or worth something. You know what I'm saying? Like doom scrolling isn't worth anything, right? I've been trying to read a lot more lately. I learned to solve the Rubik's Cube, and I'm going to learn to solve it faster. My goal is to get it under 2 minutes. That's my goal.
That's pretty quick.
Which is fast. That's very fast.
You say you do it in 4.5 to 5, but a lot of people don't even know how to solve one. So.
Yeah.
Including myself.
But I'm very, very, very proud. This is like, there's a video on the internet of my dad solving the Rubik's Cube. And I want to put out a video of me solving the Rubik's Cube.
There you go.
Like with the same title and stuff, just to like reminisce on that and stuff. But this isn't the craziest episode ever.
No, I mean, a little bit of a homebody scene this time around.
Correct.
We're in the PJs.
PJs.
So,
Shout out to our viewers that watch because of our feet. Our feet are both out.
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out.
But Mike, one of the things that I would encourage you to get into, because it's really helped me, and I think it would help you a bunch too, is when it comes to getting up early for work. I want to start getting up earlier. You know what I'm saying? Just so we're not rushed. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the worst, right? When we're showing up late and then, and
For as long as I can remember, always getting up a little too late sometimes.
that's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying. And I would say, like, like we should go do more stuff. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, like we're playing pool and we're doing all that stuff, but like if we're not doing anything, like, I want to go down to the clubhouse and play pool, or just go down to the clubhouse and do some work down there. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like sitting and like being around here, I love being home and I love watching movies, but just filling space with things that are intentional instead of just sitting there and getting bored and trying to fill that space.
Yeah.
Let that space be a sandbox for what we think is.
Yeah. And half the days we just catch ourselves falling asleep after work.
I know, we're so tired. But like right after this, we're going to watch Transformers. We're on the second one.
The second one.
And they're sick. They're sick. I love it.
They're great.
Yeah. But shout out everyone listening and stuff. 2G1C will end season 1, episode 25. That'll be the ending. And I like to think of season 1 as just as a trial run for what this can be.
It's a pretty good trial run.
You know what I'm saying? But I want to get a lot more big guests. I want to get a lot more, be more intentional with these episodes. You know what I'm saying? Because I find myself like coming up last second trying to put something together and stuff.
Yeah.
Season 2 will be this, but more refined, better. But I'm excited. It'll probably be a couple, maybe like a month or two in between seasons. But episode 25 will be the last episode. It'll be me and Mike, just like the first one.
So that'll be in about a month's time.
Yeah. And we're just going to sit and recap. But this has been really great for me. And I'm sure Mike as well.
Cool.
A lot of people reach out to me and they tell me how great, some of my episodes are. And not to like toot my own horn or anything, because I don't think they're that whatever. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's been so incredibly transformational, because when it comes to listening to these episodes, I listen to every single one of my episodes, whether it's after or before or whatever. And I have to sit with these thoughts, you know what I'm saying, that I've put out there, and they're out there forever now, because, I'm not going to go back and delete videos.
Yeah.
But it's been really great for me, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it's cool because, like, for the 2 people that watch every episode, you guys have seen us at home, in my early interviews, in my early podcasting days where I was kind of nervous and stuff and whatever. And not that I've changed a bunch. I'm still the same person, but I'm growing a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think the podcast has been a huge part of that. So whether you listen or not, this is like great therapy for me, if that makes sense.
It's fun just to sit down for an hour and just kind of talk about whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And therapeutic in a way. Like,
most definitely. Especially like hearing yourself talk through the headphones and all that stuff.
I mean, I don't know why, but yeah.
There's something about it that's really great. So to all these other people that are starting podcasts, do it. It's great. It's like self-therapy. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that mine like gets any sort of viewership is freaking awesome.
It's cool to see, for sure.
Yeah. But season 1 is just the rough draft for what the rest of them is going to be.
Yeah. Pretty good for a rough draft.
Yeah. Not bad at all. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been 2G1C, and I'm about to rip this Rubik's Cube.
Yes.
Here we go, baby. Starting our outro song. Episode 21 with my best buddy, Mike.
There's a good one.
Wait,
good
pause.
One. Oh.
Scramble this for me. Scramble it real quick.
Shoot,
Scramble it.
I need to put the mic down.
Just go ahead and set it down. But, 2G1C, episode 21, 22, 21, prayer and meditation. Big parts of my life. I'm growing. I'm doing better. This podcast has been a huge part of that. Mike is mixing up the Rubik's Cube, and then I got to solve this before the end of the outro song is over. That's my goal. I don't know how long the outro song is. I think it's like 3 minutes, 2 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to get it.
I'll just look nice for the camera.
That's right. Smile and wave, Mike. But, ladies and gentlemen, this has been 2G1C. Is it good?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty good.
That's good enough. All right. Ready?
One more turn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ready? 3, 2. We'll see you next time. All right, wait. I'm almost done. The song's like almost over, but I'm gonna do it.
And
Wait. It's done.
There we go. I don't know what the time was on that.
Whatever. Nobody's actually watching right now. Sorry. Nobody's actually watching right now. Just me and you, Mike. But
yeah,
I did it. I mean, it's done.
It's in the video.
It's in the video.
So there's proof.
It's gonna get better, ladies and gentlemen. 2G1C. We'll see you guys next time.